Chicago, 1976. The icy winter wind whipped through the streets as Muhammad Ali, dressed in his signature black suit and bow tie, walked briskly toward a scheduled press conference. His driver had dropped him off 2 blocks away. Ali preferred to walk sometimes, to feel the pulse of the city, to be among the people who cheered his name. As he rounded the corner of State Street, his trained eyes caught sight of something that made him stop dead in his tracks. A young, black woman, no more than 19, sat huddled against a brick wall. Her thin coat offered little protection from the bitter cold, and her pregnant belly protruded beneath the worn fabric. Before her lay a cardboard box filled with homemade candies, peanut brittle, chocolate fudge, and taffy, each wrapped in wax paper. Her hands, red from the cold, trembled as she counted the few coins in her tin cup. Sweet treats, sugar delights, just 50 cents, she called out weakly, her voice barely carrying above the wind. Pedestrians hurried past, hunched against the weather, their footsteps creating a rhythm on the frozen sidewalk. Ali approached slowly, his presence causing a stir among the passers-by. Some recognized him immediately, their eyes widening, but they kept their distance, sensing this was a private moment. The young woman looked up, her eyes meeting his. For a moment, recognition flickered across her face, but exhaustion dulled it. "Would you like some candy, sir?" she asked, pushing herself up straighter despite her obvious discomfort. Ali crouched down beside her, ignoring the cold seeping through his expensive pants. "What's your name, sister?" he asked gently. "Sarah," she whispered. "Sarah Johnson. Don't forget to subscribe to witness how this incredible encounter unfolds." Sarah's story tumbled out in broken phrases between shivers. Her husband had died in Vietnam 3 months ago. She was 7 months pregnant with twins. The factory where she worked had closed down. Her mother was too sick to help. She'd been selling candy for 2 weeks, making barely enough for rent and food. Ali listened intently, his famous quick wit quieted by compassion. He picked up a piece of fudge, examining it carefully. "This looks delicious. How much for the whole box?" Sarah's eyes widened. "Sir, that's $50 worth of candy." Ali reached into his wallet without hesitation. He pulled out a crisp $100 bill and placed it in her tin cup. "Keep the change," he said simply. But then Sarah did something unexpected. She pushed the bill back toward him. "I can't take charity, Mr. Ali. I recognize you now. You're the champion, but I work for my money. Take the candy, all of it, or take your money back." Ali smiled then. That famous Ali smile that had charmed the world. "You're right, Sarah. You're a fighter too. I respect that." He scooped up all the candy boxes and tucked them under his arm. "But I'm buying these for my press conference. The reporters will love them." As he stood to leave, Ali paused. "Sarah, you said you'd been doing this for 2 weeks. How many boxes have you sold in total?" "Maybe 20, she admitted. "Sometimes I sit here all day and sell nothing." Ali nodded thoughtfully. 20 boxes in 2 weeks. That's not enough for someone fighting for 2 lives. He glanced at his diamond-studded watch. "Tell me, Sarah, do you know how to make those chocolate-covered almonds?" "Yes, sir," she replied, confused. "My grandmother taught me." "Good. Meet me at this address tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp." He scribbled on the back of a business card. "Bring 3 boxes of your best candies. Consider it a business meeting." The address was for one of Chicago's most exclusive hotels. Sarah stared at the card, disbelief washing over her face. "Why are you doing this?" Ali leaned down once more. "Because champions aren't just made in the ring, they're made on streets like these. And you, Sarah Johnson, are a champion." The next morning, Sarah stood nervously outside the Palmer House hotel, clutching 3 boxes of her best candies. She'd spent all night making them, using her last bit of sugar and cocoa. Her hands shook, not from cold this time, but from anxiety. She'd even borrowed a decent dress from her neighbor. The doorman initially hesitated, looking at her worn shoes and simple attire, but when she mentioned Muhammad Ali's name, his demeanor changed immediately. "Ms. Johnson," he said respectfully, "Mr. Ali is expecting you in the presidential suite." As the elevator climbed, Sarah's heart raced. What was happening? Was this real? The elevator doors opened, and there stood Muhammad Ali, dressed impeccably, surrounded by a group of well-dressed men and women. "Gentlemen, ladies," Ali announced. With theatrical flair, "this is Sarah Johnson, the finest candy maker in Chicago. Sarah, meet the investors from Johnson & Johnson, Hershey, and my friend, Mr. Berry Gordy from Motown Records." Sarah's knees nearly buckled. These were some of the most powerful people in American business. Ali took her arm, guiding her into the luxurious suite. "I've been telling everyone about your extraordinary talent. Show them what you've brought." With trembling hands, Sarah opened her boxes. The aroma of fresh chocolate filled the room. Ali helped himself to a piece of fudge, closing his eyes in exaggerated pleasure. "Taste this," he commanded, and soon everyone was sampling her creations. The Hershey executive raised an eyebrow. "These are exceptional. Your recipe." "My grandmother's," Sarah managed to say. "She started making candy during the Great Depression to feed her family." "Did Ali tell you," Berry Gordy asked, "that we're thinking of starting a premium chocolate line at Motown, something that represents black excellence?" Ali winked at Sarah. "I think I may have mentioned it. Sarah here could be your master chocolatier." The room buzzed with excitement as business discussions began. Sarah found herself caught in a whirlwind of opportunity. The investors weren't just interested in her candy. They wanted to know her story, her dreams, her potential. Ali had done more than introduce her to powerful people. He'd given her a platform, a voice, legitimacy. By noon, Sarah had tentative deals for recipe consultations, a contract to supply a Chicago candy store chain, and an invitation to meet with a food scientist about scaling up production. Ali had transformed her from a desperate street vendor into a valued entrepreneur in just 18 hours. 10 years later, Sarah Johnson Ali stood at the podium of the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Her company, Sweet Champion Chocolates, had grown to employ over 200 people and had annual revenue exceeding $5 million. Her twin daughters, both university students now, watched proudly from the audience. Mr. Ali often said that service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth, Sarah began, her voice strong and clear now. But what he did for me and for countless others was more than service. It was an act of seeing, truly seeing, another human being's potential when the world only sees their struggle. Ali sat in the front row, his body showing the first signs of Parkinson's, but his eyes as sharp and kind as ever. He nodded as Sarah spoke. That winter day on State Street, I wasn't just selling candy. I was selling pieces of my hope, my dignity, my future. But Muhammad Ali bought more than sweets. He bought time for my babies to grow in safety. He bought my chance to rebuild. He bought my dreams when I couldn't afford them myself. The audience was silent, many wiping away tears. Here's what I learned. Greatness isn't in the knockout punch. It's in the moment you choose to lift someone up instead of walking past. It's in using your power to amplify the voiceless. It's in seeing a pregnant woman on a cold street not as an inconvenience, but as a person with a story worth hearing. Sarah reached into her pocket and pulled out a faded business card, the one Ali had given her 10 years ago. I kept this all these years. Sometimes, when self-doubt creeps in, I touch it and remember, someone believed in me when I couldn't. Believe in myself. She locked eyes with Ali. Thank you for teaching me that champions don't just fight in rings. They fight for people. They fight for justice. They fight for love. As the crowd rose in a standing ovation, Ali moved slowly to the podium. Despite his condition, he managed to stand tall. With trembling hands, he took Sarah's face in his palms. "You were always the champion, Sarah. I just helped you see it." The final shot showed Ali and Sarah embracing, a testament to the truth that real greatness multiplies when shared. In the background, a banner read, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, but love like humanity." The story ends with text on screen. Muhammad Ali's compassion changed countless lives. His legacy reminds us that the greatest victory is lifting others to their highest potential. Subscribe now to discover more untold stories of compassion that changed the world. Share your own story of unexpected kindness in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to be champions of humanity.